Explain this, liberals. Another episode of Vaughn judges Harley for their life choices.
Gather!
Right here, right now. Emerge.
There's no end to these stupid mecha. Oh, my lovely muscular legs, sir, are now full of these horrid welts and bruises. Thank you, friend. If it weren't for you, I'd still be taking a beating from those mecha. Oh, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Deno. I'm a member of the Fontaine Research Institute, an assistant researcher. Or so I used to be. Now I'm responsible for receiving the adventurers who come here for recruitment and conducting preliminary qualification reviews. They're called preliminary qualification reviews, but it's more just me checking if they're carrying all the proper documents with them. After all, some adventurers can't even get their documents right. Adventurers who come here for recruitment? Yes, as you said, we've been asking the Adventurers Guild to recruit adventurers who can investigate and search the ruins of the Fontaine Research Institute. After all, nearly the entire institute was destroyed in the explosion, and we don't have a lot of manpower. I'm covered in bunny hair. This violates the institute's non-disclosure agreements, and some other work regulations, of course, but technically only on paper. I think I've heard of this incident before. Oh, there's things. Paimon remembers someone named Edwin made a mistake, and there was an explosion at the institute, right? Oh, so everyone knows, do they? Ugh, must have been some journalists from the Steambird with nothing better to do. Anyway, that's what happened, and that's where we're at now. In other words, you're looking for people who are good at searching for things in ruins? We're good at that. I can see that you're more confident than ordinary people, and I believe you've got good reason for that kind of confidence. I'm glad you're interested in the commission. But if you really are planning to take it up, I'll have to ask you to fill out some simple forms. Is this the qualification review? Yes, your comprehension and attention are excellent. Better than ones who came before you, anyway. Sounds like a lot of work. We don't usually have to jump through all these hoops when we take a commission. Well, the commission concerns confidential items within the Fontaine Research Institute. The ruins contain scholarly papers and research results that must be retrieved. These are assets of the Fontaine Research Institute, and they are the foundation for rebuilding in the Institute. Indeed, the hope of the entire court of Fontaine. Only trustworthy, upright, elite adventurers may enter the ruins, and that's why we have to run a qualification review. It's also why I'm here to do the preliminary part of it. Oh, and how many elite adventurers have you recruited so far? Well, it's complicated. The ones I had high hopes for declined because they were in bad shape at the time. Anyway, at this point, well, alright, we have none. Are your standards too high? How else would you end up not finding a single adventurer? These are the rules set by Mr. Choiseul, and I can't do anything about it. In fact, I have even helped many adventurers to polish up their documents. But even so, no adventurers have passed the review set by Mr. Choiseul and Mr. Raimondo. Raimondo? But don't worry, you're already much better than the previous ones, so your chances of passing are certainly higher. Please sit here while I go get a few bottles of ink. We'll be filling out some forms. Few bottles? Is one not enough? Based on my experience, if you didn't bring any documents, then one bottle is definitely not enough. First, one proof of venture qualifications, one 30-day record of travel history. Actually, I'm sure that the Adventurers Guild has these records. Don't worry, I'll write you an official letter to explain the situation, and we'll request said documents from the guild. But for the resume, you'll have to fill in your habitual residence, your contact address, contact information, your current name, names you've used in the past, your pseudonyms, and aliases that you use when you want to conceal your identity. What the fuck? Then you have to sign the good faith commitment, a notice of liability, a notice of obligation, and... To notice this help, you start filling out the forms, alternating between hesitance and doubt. You use up bottle after bottle of ink, but the stack of forms also gradually shrinks. As you finish the last form, Deneau smiles and you breathe a sigh of relief. That's all the documents. Now you just need to go to the institute itself for the final review. I was meant to be the one to take you there, but those stupid mecha injured my leg. It's okay, just tell us where it is and we'll head on over there ourselves. Sounds good. I'll mark the location down on your map. Oh, and by the way, I suggest you head straight to the roof and talk to Mr. Naka. The Institute sent him to work in the area. You can go talk with him. There are lots of clockwork mecha in the nearby wilds, so he's definitely going to need a formidable guard. Wait, we haven't passed your final review yet. Why are you assigning us work already? And there's no compensation either. Well now, just hear me out. Mr. Naka's a senior researcher at the Fontaine Research Institute, who once even did research under Edwin, so he's got some sway in the institute. If you were to get along well with him and incidentally demonstrate your capabilities to him to prove your worth, then you're going to have much better chances at passing the review. So what you're saying is that we should help this Mr. Naka and thank him for the privilege while we're at it? Precisely. You can tell him, before arriving at the Fontaine Research Institute for the final review, Mr. Denot has first tasked me with being your guard and ensuring your safety. Anyway, I won't hold you up any longer. He should be on the roof. I've still got to... Ouch. I like... those stupid mecha. Okay. Darn it, who in the world designed these mecha here? Why are we having the preliminary review here, by the way? Why not conduct a review at the Fontaine Research Institute, you mean? Well, it's because of that huge explosion, of course. After the institute blew up, the roads that led here from the court of Fontaine were cut off for the most part. Not to mention the area around the institute itself. A total mess. This is where Mr. Raimondo's project team was originally located, a place far enough from the centre of the explosion to not be greatly impacted by it. You know, meaning lots of people who are still alive. Have fun at prison? Have you not been watching? We left prison. Go back! Well, you know what I mean. Even though most of the Fontaine Research Institute was destroyed, our offices must continue operating. Otherwise, who will rebuild it? That's why they had him go back urgently, and also made the decision to seek assistance from adventurers. We are also following the Institute's orders, and are here to receive adventurers that come here to apply. Although many areas around the Institute have been cleaned up and it's about time we return to our offices, Mr. Choiseul has stated otherwise. There are many things to do, and we should focus on a bigger picture. Stay where you are if possible. And just like that, our tiny office wound up staying right here. I seriously wonder when I'll be able to return to the Institute. External Reconstruction Support FAQ. Required documents and registration information for adventurers. Temporary. Commission resume, income statement, information regarding commission evaluations, commission statistics, total number of stars, rating, proof of adventure qualifications, travel history for the prior 30-day period, and all past and current adventure handbooks. Jesus Christ. Habitual residence, contact address, contact information, emergency contact, your current name, names you've used in the past, any pseudonyms and or aliases, statement of good faith, liability notice, obligation notice, and disclaimer notices. If the adventurer has not brought complete documentation with them, the gaps should be plugged on the spot in a timely manner. Any applicant with a criminal record or who are suspects will be turned over to the authorities immediately. Oh my god. Project proposal. To support the development of research at the Fontaine Research Institute of Kinetic Energy Engineering, it has been decided through internal discussions to initiate Phase 2 expansion for the Institute, with senior researcher Raimondo Havenport in charge of said project. After thorough investigation, argumentation, analysis, and research, it has been concluded that the eastern region of Liffey has favourable geography, excellent transportation conditions, and faces no threat from wild monsters. Guess again, making it a highly suitable location for the second Fontaine Research Institute. The project is currently suspended because Raimondo Havenport has been transferred to the position of Senior Technician for the Fontaine Research Institute of Kinetic Energy Engineering. Wait, what's the difference, though? Are they the same thing? I'm confused. During Phase 2 of the Fontaine Research Institute expansion project, construction workers discovered an undocumented human-excavated tunnel that led to the private lab of the deceased senior researcher, Brevet. The research facility was found undamaged. The Maison Gestion has been briefed, pending further action. Ooh, spicy. I've said this many times, Ms. Crony. Rebuilding the Fontaine Research Institute is our only goal right now. You've said the same thing 3 times now. I know all too well that when you guys start repeating things like robots, there's definitely something big that you're trying to hide. Think what you like. As for the numerous issues you mentioned earlier, I suggest you go talk to Mr. Raimondo. What, is he going to tell me all the things the Fontaine Research Institute is hiding? No, but his ways of beating around the bush might be more sincere. You... Anyways, Ms. Crony, I have my own business to attend to. The one next in line has been waiting for quite a while now. Hello, can I help you? Oh, how can I help you? Are you Mr. Naka? Yes, I am. You introduce yourself to Naka and describe the final review situation. Upon mentioning Deneau, you remember what he last told you. Before formally arriving at the Fontaine Research Institute for the final review, Mr. Deneau has first tasked me with being your guard and ensuring your safety. I see. Thank you for applying, Ms. Harley. And I suppose I must also thank Mr. Deneau's injured leg. The wilds around here do pose many dangers, and having an adventurer capable of passing the preliminary qualification review by my side would be a lot safer. I can't act like I didn't hear that. What dangers are there exactly, if I may ask? According to the investigations, lots of archaeum flew out of the Institute when it exploded. Will the uncontrolled archaeum radiate energy? Will it contaminate the surrounding environment? Oh, maybe the greeny blue stuff in the prison was archaeum. Whoa, wouldn't this entire area be contaminated then? I suddenly feel somewhat short of breath. That's just your imagination at work. After leaving its catalytic environment, archaeum immediately returns to an inert state. It won't radiate or contaminate anything. It is apparent that Ms. Crony's way of phrasing her concerns brought you unnecessary misunderstandings. Miss Harley? Why did he first call me Ms. Harley and now it's Miss Harley? Like, weird. May I take another look at your documents? If you really wish to escort me, then we'll have to do something of a detour. I'm going to a few nearby places to review the technological assets of the Institute and nab some documents along the way. Who's this lady next to you? Some reporter, that's all. Indeed, that is what I am. It is a great honour to meet you, Ms. Harley. I've heard your name from my colleagues many times before. I'm Crony, a journalist for the political affairs section of the Steambird. If you have time, could we arrange a time to have a chat? And of course, Ms. Paimon is also welcome to join. I'm very interested in your adventures. Let me see. How does next Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday sound to you guys? Even this Saturday could work. We could go for a cup of coffee. Or how about right now? You guys stay here and chat, and I'll go about my work duties. She just wants him off. He just wants her off his back. That won't do. I've already reserved today's entire interview schedule for you. Sorry, Ms. Harley Paimon. We'll have to chat another time. That's okay. We've got work to do today anyway. We need to escort Mr. Naka first. Is it Naka or Naker? I don't know if it's like English name or French name. I must stress again that I'm just an ordinary researcher now, and I have no further information to give you. Plus, we've also got tedious and meaningless work ahead of us. Even if you go ahead and interview me, you won't get any useful information from it. That won't be a problem, Mr. Naka. All work has its own unique value, and it's our job to uncover it. Don't worry about me. Suit yourself then. Let's get going, Harley. According to the schedule, there's a document we need to get at the Institute's executive office. Hopefully Conjat wasn't called up for some other work. If there was a nuclear fucking explosion, how are there still surviving documents? I don't know. That seems like one of the first things that would go. Okay. This is it here. Hang on a second while I go find Ms. Conjat. Whoa, what's that place? A building floating in the air? Paimon gets it. This must be one of those magical, I only want the second floor, just cut the first floor out buildings that you hear about in stories. What? The Fontaine Research Institute's science is the finest in the world. It really is. What you're seeing now is the central laboratory of the Fontaine Research Institute. Or should I say, what was once a central laboratory. Mr. Edwin Eastinghouse was once within, trying to develop a field generator using archaeum. Initial estimates indicated that the device could lift an entire block of buildings. My guess is that the experiment didn't turn out so well. Of course, had Mr. Edwin not left 2/3 of the Fontaine Research Institute in ashes, he would have been a shoo-in for the post of the next director. And today, the heavy responsibilities that belong to the post of director, including a lifelong stipend and private dwelling, must be borne by the likes of Choiseul and Raimondo. Paimon wonders just what kind of people Raimondo and Choiseul are. According to the evaluations of my peers, they are the type who can speak to you for an entire day without saying anything. I want to put that to the test. So it is exceedingly accurate to say that Mr. Choiseul's talents are irreplaceable. Look, Harley, the location of your final review is the former location of the Alain Guillotine Research Institute, and now the current residence of the Institute. Before the incident, weekly lectures were held there regarding critical projects. Of course, the old administrative functions are still in effect, but can handle the final review. What's that plaza for? There are even seats around it. Is it an amphitheatre of some kind? Ah, I have heard colleagues stationed at the Institute speak of this place. That is the sacred ground of Fontainians, the place where Fonta was born. Refreshing Fonta, a font of refreshment. That is the Fontaine Research Institute's academic assembly hall, and is dedicated to the purpose of displaying the fruits of our research, such as the combat-capable artifice dancers, the gramophone, and turbine-powered glider, among others. Previous analyses of Institute assets show that, of the items I mentioned previously, Fonta may be the only scientific achievement that remains legally profitable. I couldn't help but notice your wording contained a few baseless accusations. I'm glad you noticed. In that case, would you mind giving me your opinion of the ongoing criminal activity of selling off research materials from within the Institute? It is absolutely vile, and those involved in the matter ought to be arrested in accordance with the law. Huh. Well then, out of those with access to the Institute's technical assets and the capacity to commit such a crime, who do you believe it was exactly? Could it be possible that it was a criminal? Harley, let's keep moving. I need to go to a file storage room first and retrieve a survey anchor, which we can use to monitor the strength of the energy flows. It's not far. Let's go. This document needs to be filed and this one rewritten. Ugh, there's just so much to do. Announcement regarding the memorial service from Monsieur Boutour. The Institute will hold a memorial service for Monsieur Boutour tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. in the Academic Assembly Hall to honour his research contributions to the Institute and the people of the Court of Fontaine. May he rest in peace. Anyone not associated with the Institute who wishes to attend the service should first register with the funerary office. Notice regarding sanctions for personnel conducting unapproved research. In summary, Patrice travelled to Lille without permission and conducted experiments without the Institute's approval. He is also suspected of tampering with and falsifying experimental results. He retains his position on probation, pending investigation. All experimental data, what the fuck, why couldn't I say that? And papers from the project will be temporarily archived and in the care of Monsieur Anatole, pending subsequent review and empirical verification. Notice of Edwin Eastinghouse's dismissal. In accordance with the Fontaine Research Institute's personnel regulations, Edwin Eastinghouse has been absent from work without permission for a long period, without having submitted any application, and is thereby dismissed from his post of senior technician effective today, with further investigation pending. Did he not die in the explosion? Notice of Coutreau's dismissal. In accordance with the laws of the Court of Fontaine and the Fontaine Research Institute's personnel regulations, Coutreau has been dismissed from his position as a researcher of the Institute effective immediately. The Institute retains the right to pursue further legal action in accordance with the relevant laws. This is so wordy. Fontaine is so wordy. Holy shit. Finance Investigation Office notice to thoroughly investigate the Institute's loss of assets. Effective today, funding approval for the auxiliary robo-arm, hollow propulsion wind glider, and autonomous circuit aquabus projects is suspended, pending further reviews of finances and assets. I deserve a medal, to be honest. Mr. Naka, you finally come. We came across a little hiccup on the way. Never mind that. Have you retrieved the survey anchor yet? I was just about to bring that up with you. I don't know if it was due to the explosion, but the supporting tools that were kept here are all damaged. Well, yeah, of course it'd be the explosion. You should know, if you don't use the proper tools to retrieve the anchors, you'll be subject to being struck by high-intensity Archeum energy flows. Oh, intense energy flow from the Archeum. Got it. Huh? What I just said was just... I didn't... Relax, sweetie. You were merely speaking the truth. It's not like you offended anyone. What Ms. Chalmé said was indeed the truth. I hope that I can say the same for what you shall write. Whatever the truth is placed right before me, I never pretend that it's not there. That would be a mistake. Is that so? Well, it takes only the slightest bit of effort to fixate on something, but it always takes more brain power to avert your gaze from it. It's clear they're not having an argument with each other, but why does Paimon still feel like the vibe is even scarier than if they were? Let's deal with the survey anchor first, shall we? You're right. Miss Chalmé, let's go examine the anchor. Okay then. That said, the area where it's located is still blocked. I'll go ahead and open those ports and unblock it. You just see Paimon's like little thing through the wall. Harley, as I recall, you were an adventurer who came for the recruitment, yes? Well, when assisting our institute in its work, you'll sometimes be required to carry out certain precise operations. I'd like to see your practical capabilities first. Could you please go and help Ms. Chalmé operate the energy transfer terminal to clear the area where the survey anchor is of obstructions? So the review has already begun? You could say that. If you pass the final review, then we'll do a detailed competency assessment for you. After all, everybody excels at different things, and the work they can take on also differs. And so their compensation will differ as well? How very blunt of you, but you're not wrong. Ooh, then we've got to show them our worth, Harley. Just treat this as an early assessment. Ms. Chalmé is over there. She'll explain to you how to operate the terminal. Please follow her instructions and unblock the area as soon as you can. I'll be watching you from the side. Yay, money! Woo! If I may, Mr. Naka, could you explain what would happen if someone were to be directly hit by intense energy flowing from Arceum? Coma, subcutaneous bleeding, vomiting, and so on. Would you like me to list them all one by one? If the survey anchors really are that dangerous, why would you place them in a room? You know, it feels like you're placing a coffee maker. I've already repeatedly emphasized that as long as you follow operating procedures correctly, you should not be at any risk of direct contact with said energy flows. As for why they're locked up in a room, well, it's to prevent certain idiots from taking any anchors away without authorization, of course. They have no idea how they work, and just figure that they might sell some shiny things for a profit. We've hung up signs, distributed flyers, and even specially organized a lecture to try to tell everyone that not only were they worthless, but they could also do you harm. However, the anchors continue to be stolen, and thus we've had no choice but to lock them up in a room. This is the truth. Are you happy now? Damn, he's so sick. Hello, Mr. Naka has already told me that you're here to learn how to operate the energy transfer terminal. Is that right? I've written the operating instructions down for you. Feel free to take a look at them. A device that resembles a research terminal. You can access the transfer terminal's viewfinder to collect and transfer energy from different storage devices. I already did that. If there is another transfer terminal within your viewfinder, you can switch to that other transfer terminal's view by aiming your crosshairs at said terminal and pressing it. All collected energy will be transferred to said new terminal. Other than transferring energy, a transfer terminal can also convert cipher letters within its view into text. Good luck with your assessment. Cipher letter 1. This is a test text for cipher letters. I haven't thought of any suitable scenarios where this tech can be applied. Considering that this feels like a QR code. Considering that the energy transfer terminals and their receiving terminals aren't widespread in Fontaine.
Tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
Shut up, Zhongli. Considering that the energy transfer terminals and their receiving terminals aren't widespread in Fontaine, the use of encrypted images will be limited to within the Fontaine Research Institute. Teilhard just loves coming up with such useless inventions. I've already warned him not to vandalize the place. The encrypted images use a special paint that requires an equally special solvent to remove. The formula for the solvent needed to remove the encrypted messages is recorded below. The text below has been removed. That's funny. Take the power and put it somewhere else, maybe?
Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots, I have a few references.
God, Zhongli talks a lot. I Excellent work. The lock has been opened. Your abilities to quickly grasp the mechanics and execute are both outstanding, and your value far exceeds the vast majority of those who participate in experiments. I will truthfully report your performance as such. So what's next? Whoa, Miss Crony, what's gotten into you? I suddenly feel like I'm gonna throw up. Miss Crony, please drink this medicine. Exposed survey anchors radiate with Arceum energy traces, and the place we are in now has also been affected somewhat. You're pretty decent, everyone else sucks. That's where I shine. However, this energy level won't leave permanent adverse effects on the body. Just take this medicine and you'll be fine. We're chillin'. Blech, it tastes terrible. Forget it. I guess this is also kind of first-hand experience. Harley, these 2 bottles are for the 2 of you. Please drink them quickly. Thanks, but I'm not feeling any discomfort at all. Paimon neither. Really? That's really quite interesting, and is completely at odds with the results of the Applications of Arceum Risk Report 3rd edition. We all should have been affected by the same amount of Arceum energy. Well, I'm not human, and neither is Paimon, so... I'm not being praised for doing the bare minimum. Hell fucking yeah, bestie! Cheers to that! Humph. We're constantly journeying over mountains and seas. We're way stronger than the people you've got working here. You need a 4th edition. Correction. You can now assume that all of the Fontaine Research Institute staff are now working out in the open, beneath the sun and stars. Your report might consider mentioning the difficult work conditions we are enduring, Ms. Crony. I've been wronged without having been notified in advance. The Steambird won't just let this go. Putting this all aside, you clearly have an extremely strong innate tolerance of the energy flow, Harley. If so, you are certainly the best candidate to assist the Institute without question. Please approach the storage room and report any dizziness, nausea, itchiness, or any other discomfort you feel during the process. Hold on there, are you using Harley as a guinea pig? Without fulfilling your obligation to inform her of the risks first? It is clearly stated in Institute Abbreviated Externally Contracted Employee Agreement Appendix C41, which she signed. Prior to being officially employed, the applicant shall be subject to a harmless Arceum energy flow tolerance test, and the Institute has the right to terminate the contract based upon the results of said test. Who the heck reads all that? You chose not to exercise your right to read the text, but each document was clearly marked. Please sign your name after carefully reading the document and making sure there are no mistakes. Not the fucking terms and conditions. However, seeing as you seem completely unaffected by the energy flow, I believe you may just be the person we are looking for. In any case, let's get down to business. Take 3 steps toward the storage room, then hold still for 30 seconds. You follow Naka's series of complicated instructions and slowly approach the storage room, but you don't feel any discomfort. We've gone this far, but Paimon still doesn't feel anything. Do you feel any discomfort? I'm feeling the same as always. Hehe, that's a relief then. Paimon was worrying about how she'd carry you out of here if you were to suddenly pass out. Although we've come all this way, and we can't see Naka or the others anymore, and it doesn't seem like we can hear them either. What do we do next? Paimon knows. Maybe they'll chuck some sort of box in here and communicate with us through that. Do they even have technology that cool? We'll find out soon enough. Paimon can't wait to see what kind of cool gadgets they might use to communicate with us. Harley, can you hear me? Oh, so they rely on the technology of shouting really loud. I can hear you. Do you guys feel any discomfort? Everything's good. That's great. Please continue on to the survey anchor. You should be able to see it now. Once you retrieve it, it will temporarily fall into a dormant state and stop radiating energy, and then we'll be able to come in. So high tech. Be careful. If you feel uncomfortable, then we'll get out of here. Hold on, I'm reading. What if we do it this way? This needs to be a reference book intended to impart practical techniques. The book lists a great number of issues that Fontainians are quite unlikely to encounter in their daily lives, and provides rigorously logical solutions to said problems. However, both the title page and the ending contain requests from the author for readers to not do such things in practice. What the fuck? What should I do? This appears to be a reference book meant to teach common knowledge to people who have yet to come of age. But why is it placed inside the Institute's materials office? This seems to be a literary work of fiction, Fantasy Institute. In this book, the entire Fontaine Research Institute was transported to a fantasy world, and many researchers go on adventures together. I think that's supposed to be adventures, but they wrote adventurers together in this other world. There is a note stuck at the end of the text with the following comments written on it. Why do I still have to carry mechanisms and fight monsters even in another world? How is this any different from real life? Is this what counts for popular novels within Institute circles? You might as well write one in which Mr. Edwin travels to another world with his Archeum. Please refrain from placing novels inside the materials office. Also, Mr. Edwin has stated that he has no interest in travelling to other worlds. I mean, I don't know, this feels very meta. Fontaine Research Institute of Kinetic Energy Engineering, Executive Office. Located at the intersection between the Liffey and Fontaine Research Institute of Kinetic Energy Engineering regions, primarily responsible for the Institute's various administrative tasks. Academic Assembly Hall, a venue for showcasing the products of the Institute's research to the public. The circular design of the exhibition hall allows it to accommodate a larger audience while providing a better view. Central Laboratory. Located in the heart of Fontaine Research Institute of Kinetic Energy Engineering, it has the most advanced instruments in Fontaine. Currently, the primary research undertaken there is related to the experimental field generator. The text that follows is too marred to be discernible. Oh! I got an achievement for just reading all of those. What the fuck? Oh yeah. The day that has passed cannot stay. Interesting. Huh. You actually managed to retrieve the survey anchor without any instruments, like it was nothing. That's amazing. The last time, we needed at least 3 of us acting together to retrieve an anchor. I'm most certain that you're exactly the talent we've been looking for. With your help, all of our work is going to go much more smoothly. Alright, I'll keep it for now. Let's leave this place and report back to the Institute post-haste. Hang on, where's Miss Crony? Paimon doesn't see her anywhere. She was feeling nauseous, so she stayed up there to rest. A good bunny is, thank you. But don't worry, she has already taken her medicine. She just needs a little time. Huh? Miss Crony, what are you doing here? A bunch of mecha monsters suddenly showed up outside. They're on my heels, about to storm in. Leave it to me. Look out, Harley, over there. Okay. Wow, I'm so threatened.
Emerge. Right here. Emerge.
One with nature.
Phew, luckily Harley was here. These were probably the clockwork mecha that the Institute used before to monitor These were probably the clockwork mecha that the Institute used before to monitor energy flow, as they're equipped with Archeum energy flow monitoring devices. That was so scary, I know, right? Although they're now out of control, they still automatically converged here upon detecting the energy flow from Archeum. Mr. Naka, should the Fontaine Research Institute be held accountable for these out-of-control mecha in the wilds? I don't object to that at all. They should be held accountable. Oh? If you truly have a way to have those buried in the ground rise up and speak again. Damn. He's like, good luck with that, sis. They're fucking dead as shit. Also, I sincerely suggest that you stay here and rest, Ms. Crony. Mr. Choiseul and Raimondo are at the Institute's new site, and they aren't going anywhere. Once you're feeling better, then you can go and interview them. Yeah, you felt so sick that you could barely even stand. Don't push yourself too hard. Your health is essential. No, I can't. Interviewing Choiseul is the final step, not the beginning. That's why I'm following Mr. Naka around. I want to experience everything firsthand and get tangible evidence. I have to question Choiseul with evidence in hand. That way, he won't be able to beat around the bush like last time. Hehe. And lo and behold, I've now personally experienced this so-called harmless Arceum energy flow. No? Once I get to the Fontaine Research Institute, I'm definitely going to uncover all of the hidden truths. I truly admire your professionalism, Ms. Crony, but are you sure you'll be able to make it the rest of the way there? Don't worry, I'll be right behind you guys. I'm a reporter after all. Sure. The backup medicine is also nearly finished. I'll go back and get more from the Institute later. Wait, do we even have any medicine left? The Memorial Park. We're here. This is the Marianne Memorial Park. See if there are any assets that can be recovered in this area. This is a park, but it doesn't look like a park at all. When the explosion happened, this place was hit by the first shockwaves. There might have been some paper assets that survived.
Time to go.
Why would they survive that? Miniaturized personal recording device. Experimental results. Not bad. We'll be happy to see this. He's always wanted to put miniaturized gramophones somewhere. These are so broken up that they're just detritus now. Leave them be. I still got a artifact though. Financial reports from the Research Institute were looking at the year, long out of date. Let's take them with us. Perhaps they might yet be useful. This just looks like old copies of the Steambird. Just toss them. They won't be useful. Damn. So how long ago was the explosion? Because I thought it was a little longer than it seems to be. Like, I don't know. I thought it was maybe like several years ago, but it seems like it was relatively recent. Let me see. There might be something under the storage drums over there. Is this pile of storage drums also Institute property? I guess so, but we need to remove them to see if there are more valuable assets. Why does the text disappear so fast? Ask Hoyoverse. Alright, there seems to really not be anything of value here. It's time to move on. A researcher who once worked together with Edwin Eastinghouse is now kicking storage drums around in a junk heap. Damn. Meanwhile, the Fontaine Research Institute still complains about being short-handed, huh? The way these researchers go about things is truly unfathomable. Everybody's worth is reflected in different ways, and kicking storage drums is my way of doing so these days. But I've heard that prior to Edwin's big screw-up, you had quite some sway in the Institute. Some might even say that you were second only to Edwin himself. Eh? You were that powerful? That no longer means anything. Now I'm merely someone who was fortunate to survive this project, and one of the culprits who turned the central laboratory into what it is today. Ah. So this is your bad? This is the only information I can offer you, Ms. Crony. Well, I believe that was plenty. Let me write that down. Huh? Where are my pen and notebook? My whole bag disappeared. I put it right next to a strange-looking mecha just now. Where did they go? You mean the one behind you? Huh? Help!
Right now. Emerge. Right here.
Gather. The wind knows
Doo-doo. What's up with these mecha monsters? Why do they move sometimes and stop moving at others? I fear that anyone who could have answered your question is now, well, indisposed. Let's hurry over to the Institute. Harley needs to participate in the final qualification review, after all.
A fateful offering.
All I did was hit one! Did I just get lucky and hit the right one? I can't work anymore. What am I going to do? What's your job? I used to be a clerk in 5th Finance's office at the Fontaine Research Institute. I was at the Maison Gestion discussing the delivery of some reports when the Institute blew up. So I was lucky enough to, you know, not get blown up. But our office and all our financial reports were blown to smithereens. I mean, it's not bad news. It's not good news either. Why isn't it bad news? Because there used to be numerous projects running at the Fontaine Research Institute, and each one would always be applying to purchase this or that resource. The volume was simply enormous. In accordance with regulations, all purchases and expenses had to be recorded in detail in financial reports so we could carry out an end-of-year audit. But most of the researchers didn't care much about following proper procedures for applications or records. The info they submitted was always a mess, mistakes and missing items everywhere. The end-of-year audits never managed to completely settle all the accounts, and that meant we had to empty the filing cabinets in search of receipts and order forms. It was chaos. But the explosion destroyed all that paperwork, which means this year I'll be able to relax for once. But you also said it's not good news? Because I'm now the only accountant able to work. Rebuilding the Fontaine Research Institute is going to mean buying lots of materials. How am I meant to cope with all that accounting work on my own? Oh, I'll just have to pray the reconstruction work goes slowly, or that I can find a competent assistant. Damn. He's like, yeah, I'm mad that everyone died because I didn't want to have to do work. Oh, I just can't handle these mecha fish. Is there anything of note nearby? That said, a fishing hobbyist who enjoys collecting mecha fish did tell me that there seemed to be condensance crystals and magical crystal ore nearby. What do you think he meant by saying that? That he might make more mecha fish using those ores? Ugh, he better not. The mecha fish population shouldn't be allowed to grow. No, sir. What to do? Wait, do you need ore? What would you say to going over there and grabbing it all first? Thanks. Mecha fish? The ones swimming about in the water. I was part of the research team that developed them. The original idea was to have them clean up trash and junk from the water. But a few problems emerged during development, and the mecha fish started treating everything that wasn't the water itself as junk and cleaning it all up. We planned to turn them off remotely and retrieve them, then figure out what the problem was. But we never imagined the institute would, explode. I spot some people trying to catch mecha fish. Oh, that. Technically, that's not fishing, but guiding mecha fish to designated spots with a specialized flashing gadget. It's intended for the regular maintenance of the mecha fish. I still have some here. You can try it out if you're interested. Oh, what happened afterwards? Most of my research team perished in the blast. Only a few survived. I was one of the survivors, obviously. But, well, none of us survivors really understood the core technology, so we couldn't control the mecha fish. And we couldn't just start the research over again either. All we could do was stand around watching the malfunctioning ones swimming out of control, and the broken ones just floating there. And just then, a bunch of reporters turned up demanding to know why we weren't doing anything about the chaos. But I wanted to help. I'd love to retrieve the mecha fish, but I don't know how. Oh, what should I do? Can't anyone help me? It's 85? That's obscene. Oh no, I'm definitely going to get fired. Did you cause some kind of disaster? I didn't do anything, but it's just that I really think they're going to fire me. I've never felt like I truly deserve to be at the Institute, and that feeling is getting stronger. Why are you thinking about that? I used to be part of Mr. Edwin Eastinghouse's Archean research team, but I only handled really peripheral jobs. I just took notes and wrote up reports, worked out statistics, monitored the instruments, that kind of thing. Imposter syndrome is a big oof, yeah. Even then, I didn't understand why all those geniuses would want someone like me working with them. I'm not clever or talented. I'm not even a very good learner. I think he's meant to represent like the modern version of Carter from the original Research Institute. I only escaped the explosion because I couldn't face going to work that day. I called in sick and slept in. I never imagined I'd wake up to find out my research group was almost wiped out in a huge explosion. So what are you in charge of now? Me? Nothing. Mr. Raimondo asked me to help supervise the reconstruction work, but, well, I'm completely clueless about that kind of thing. And when Mr. Raimondo realizes how useless I am, he's bound to fire me. Maybe I should just quit and go find a more suitable job. Aw, poor guy. How wonderful to not be doing research. She's having the time of her life. Are you a researcher? I was, but I don't do that now. I just help Mr. Raimondo by organising files and documents. Looking back, I should have quit way earlier and let that old fool Bossuet write his own boring papers. It's the only thing he's good for anyway. And Bossuet is... he's an old fogey. whose vision has already started to go, a researcher without an ounce of creativity, an honorary clothes rack that thinks the world of himself, a bloodsucker who feeds on the research of others and is utterly useless without his subordinates. He sounds very special. He is. And if I'd realised sooner how special he is and made up my mind to quit, my life would have been much easier. But never mind. I'm not a researcher now, and I'm getting my life back on track. And that's enough for me. Raimondo, nothing could go wrong here, right? Everything is running according to the set orbit, Choiseul. Round and round it goes, without any errors. Error-free everything might be, but I'm just worried about getting dizzy. Mr. Choiseul, Mr. Raimondo. Ah, Naka, it's great to see you. Have you taken care of those survey anchors? I trust that you've done as you always have, complete your tasks to perfection. I have. Allow me to give you two a brief report. With Harley's assistance, the anchor was successfully retrieved without any equipment. That's unbelievable. You were able to retrieve one without the use of any instruments. Goodness, thank heavens. Why is he so British? The entire institute right now only has 3 complete sets of such equipment, and I was honestly worried as to how we might retrieve the anchors as soon as possible. I didn't really do anything special. Yeah, it felt like just any other commission that we've done. No, for you to have retrieved an anchor at all is special enough as is. Is there any critical data in the anchor, Mr. Choiseul? Of course not. Some insignificant data, Ms. Crony. I agree with you. After all, there's no way for insignificant data to radiate with harmful Archeum energy flows, is there? Energy flow? I mean, of course. It's necessary and must exist as a technological means of preserving the... What I'd really like to know is why the Fontaine Research Institute would place these survey anchors to monitor the Archeum energy flow after the explosion. Certainly. Obviously, these survey anchors are, used for monitoring. Miss Crony talks so fast, like a whopper flower spitting fireballs. Allow me to be more specific. How exactly is the Fontaine Research Institute planning to deal with this explosion? Yes, I was just about to answer that question. This was an excellent question to ask, as many people are concerned about it. Miss Crony, I am so delighted that you've come to visit again. I must stress on behalf of Mr. Choiseul that the Institute has never changed its solution to the explosion. Once we have recovered all of the retrievable research assets at the old site, we will demolish the old central laboratory and do our best to restore the area's natural environment to its original state. You don't trust these guys? She's just a really nosy reporter, and obviously they have, like, secrets and confidential information that she shouldn't be privy to, but she's pushing them on it. I don't think they're necessarily untrustworthy. By the central laboratory, you mean that building floating in the air? How are you going to demolish a building like that? Blow it up just like before? Of course we shan't be using such crude and simple solutions. This demolition will utilize our newly researched experimental field generator. This device can deactivate the gravity-altering field that surrounds the Institute's ruins and land them on the ground safely. But wasn't this device also within said ruins? And wasn't it also a work of Edwin Eastinghouse that used Archeum as its energy source? So based on what you're saying, the Fontaine Research Institute is still unwilling to give up this harmless Archeum project, yes? I think they're not giving it up so easily. You've been keeping up with what she's saying? Nope, I just repeated her last sentence. Hey, have you been doing this to pretend that you understand what's going on? Anyways, the Fontaine Research Institute is still trying to do dangerous stuff in dangerous ways, right? A great summary, Ms. Paimon. If we're discussing uncontrolled risks, well, even walking on a road may be dangerous. Also, you should note that the energy source we're using is the completely new and stable tri-state Archeum. How does that differ from normal Archeum? Does the new word in front of it mean anything? This, to me, seems like a purely rhetorical maneuver. I'm sure Mr. Choiseul will be happy to have an in-depth conversation with you about grammar, but I've left Mr. Naka hanging for too long, and really that's just impolite. Mr. Naka, I trust that you've done everything that I've asked. With Harley's help, everything couldn't have gone any better. Is this an adventurer who came for recruitment? You've no idea what's happening or what day it is? Bestie, the fuck me too. Naka recounts to Raimondo everything that happened, emphasizing the amazing talent you displayed when retrieving the survey anchor. He also briefly touches on Crony's ironclad professionalism, as well as the severe vomiting reaction she had. From the joking look on Naka's face, there seems to be no ill intent in his jest about the committed reporter. Or so you assume. That is rare. Extremely rare. I'm delighted that you're applying for work at the Institute, Harley. After hundreds of years of bad luck, we're finally catching a break. I'm confident that you'll be of great help to us. Here are the documents I signed. Leave them over there. Don't worry about them. Huh? Aren't you going to take a look at them? We spent ages on them, and Mr. Deneau also took them very seriously. These documents definitely have their uses. They certainly help us weed idiots out, at least. As for you, however, I believe that your good qualities go far beyond what they can summarize, so let's leave them alone for now. So you saying we passed the review? Without a doubt, yes. I will personally prepare the contract and notice that you'll need to sign for follow-up work. Until then, Mr. Naka? Yes? While Ms. Crony appears to be having a discussion about energy safety with Mr. Choiseul, how about you take Harley to retrieve the last 2 survey anchors? The energy flow control operations are nearing completion, and all that's left is the data compilation. Oh well, at least everything is under control. Are you guys heading somewhere else? I'll come along too. This reporter lady sure has pretty good ears. We get paid, woohoo! What should we do, Raimondo? Do you think we can convince this journalist? Tri-State Arceum. I always felt that name would bring us trouble. Choiseul, do you think that the name is not up to current grammatical standards and that people will criticize us for being superficial? No, Tri-State Arceum may be different from Arceum in name, but it looks exactly the same no matter how one looks at it. This is not a problem, as its internal structure is indeed different. The difference between it and Arceum is like good guys and bad guys. They're both people, but they're very different in society. Raimondo. People never bother to tell the good guys from the bad guys, much less the nature of a piece of rock. They'll just say, hey, this rock looks like Arceum, and it works like Arceum, so why isn't it called Arceum? Relax, Choiseul. I've already repaired the explanation script. See? The energy source that drives the experimental field generator is not Arceum, but a new one called Tri-State Arceum. This type of ore is an inert variant of Arceum that was created through a special transformation process. After entering the all-new silent excitement state, it is much more stable than the original's excited state. This won't do. They'll still just say that we're doing some kind of rhetorical trick. This rhetoric is also based on strict academic classification. All in all, you will witness its excellence after this display. It's like the Wii U all over again, damn. But this certainly won't be able to satisfy that group of reporters. They can never be satisfied. Mr. Choiseul, all we need to do is put on a display. That's all. God, it's so wordy. All those signed documents from before, now they lie here quietly and will not object to anything. Thick files? Any thick files in chat? And just what flavour should the next Fonta product be? I'm thirsty. If you're thirsty, drink Fonta. Take this bottle, please, and enjoy its refreshing taste. Remember, refreshing Fonta, a font of refreshment. Not him peddling Fanta to me. Can I drink Fonta here? Of course, check out this motorised autonomous Fonta venting machine. If you're a member of the Fontaine Research Institute, you can buy a refreshing original flavour Fonta from it with your Mora. However, if you're not a member of the Institute, you won't be able to use this machine. Original flavour? Yes, I'm working on different flavours, each with its own unique name. But I felt the original flavour of Fonta should have its own special name too. After a full and frank discussion, I decided to call it Fonta Original. What do you think? Simple yet powerful, right? You invented Fonta? Huh? You honestly don't know who I am? Okay, then allow me to introduce myself. My name is... Is it? The I is confusing me. Heinrich? My name is Heinrich, and I am a researcher at the Fontaine Research Institute and one of the developers of Fonta. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. However, though I say I am a Fontaine Research Institute researcher, I have not participated in any research for some time, and have been focused on the Fonta business itself, outside of the Institute. This time, I am coming as an interim representative of Fontaco, and wish to discuss the rebuilding of the Institute. But Mr. Choiseul seemed somewhat reluctant when we started talking about funding. I don't know what he's worried about. Who are you talking to? This Gardamek. It's this motorized autonomous Fonda vending machine's bodyguard. Although it's not operational at the moment due to some minor technical issues. But these kind of things get fixed very quickly here at the Institute. Fair enough. But I want more though. Paper Usage Initiative. Dear colleagues and researchers, the Fontaine Research Institute is a place for research and a temple of science, and it is natural to consume paper and stationery. However, paper consumption at the Institute has been unusually high for the past 3 months straight. Thus, this is a stern reminder that paper is for research purposes and for theorizing on, not for wrapping snacks, propping up desks, or horseplay. What? If you have a need for the latter, the logistics office will be happy to provide the appropriate items. P.S. Gambling is strictly prohibited in the Institute. Anyone using paper as gambling chips will be handed over to the disciplinary office for investigation. Damn. Is this king shaming? Yes. Looks like we need to start by repairing its internal structures. What are you repairing? This Gardamek. Henri says it's the motorized autonomous Fonda vending machine's bodyguard. He even tried to restore a recording device in it. But he should stick to making Fonta. It's all he's good at. I'm the only one who knows how to fix things. You know Henri? Yeah, we were both on the research team that developed Fonta. The Institute didn't take the project very seriously, and we couldn't get any resources or support. But the work was easy and fun. Of course, when Fonta became a major commercial success, the Institute started paying more attention. After that, we founded the Fonta Company with the Institute's support, although in practice we were managed by the Institute. As for Henri, all he thinks about is Fonta, so he doesn't care about any of that. But as for me, forget it. Let's talk about something else. Wait, I want the thingy. You know how to prepare mecha? I used to work in a project team that built mecha, but the project leads kept changing, and every new lead would redo all the work from the beginning. I just couldn't stand it, so I spoke to Henri and eventually transferred to his Fonta project team, though I never thought I'd have to fix them again after all this time. Oh, I brought some extra parts that I'm not going to use. Take them. Maybe they'll come in handy. Okay. Oh my god. Book donation statistics. To the Department of Statistics and Mathematics. Recently, our institute announced an initiative and implored our fellow citizens to donate books in order to rebuild the Bossier Library, formerly known as the Alain Guillotine Memorial Library, which was unfortunately destroyed during the accident. Since the initiative's announcement, the response and generous donations we received from the entire community has far surpassed our expectations, providing us with large numbers of precious books, and the reconstruction plan is progressing smoothly as expected. After conducting a careful study, we have decided to entrust your department, the Department of Statistics and Mathematics, with organising the book donation information, using this form to facilitate contacting and expressing our gratitude to all donors in the future. Refer to the format below. Donated book, category donor, donor's message, senior researcher Joseph Diaden? Whatever. To Mr. Diaden, is your head royally screwed up or something? Why would you send this to us? The Department of Statistics and Mathematics isn't the department responsible for this kind of paperwork. Department Director Maurice Juggler. The forms have been returned untouched in their original packaging, in order to avoid administrative issues. Until we hear from Mr. Diaden, all research assistants of our department are required to fill in the form according to the following format. Donated book, category donor, donor's message, department supervisor Maurice Juggler. Donated book, A Legend of Swords 6 volume hardcover set, Yai Publishing House. Category, literature, fiction. Donor, Renaud Montalban. Donor's message, didn't realise it wasn't a suspense thriller, mistakenly purchased. Please give me his address. I would like to personally correct his misunderstandings concerning literary aesthetics. Research Assistant Dupree. Donated book, Criticism on Pseudo-Remuria History, starting from the non-existence of Remus. Category, literature, satire and humour. Donor, Areta Cappadoce. Donor's message, a thank you gift from a patient who called it a must-read and whispered something about it exposing true history. I flipped through a few pages and found myself completely lost. Might be a relatively valuable history book or something? Archived according to the standard classification scheme. Research Assistant Botin. Donated book. The Steambird Annual Collection hardcover set with free cute Blubber Beast poster. Category. Periodicals. News publication. Donor. Hermosa de Belano. Donor's message. A free copy from the publisher. It should be helpful, right? Archived according to the standard classification scheme. Research Assistant Botin. Wait, where's the poster? Research Assistant Dupree. Donated book. The Art of Negotiation. Category. Social science. Factors affecting social behaviour. Donor. Jean Faustier. Donor's message. I brought it back from the Fortress of Meripede. You really must take this. It's a rather useful book. Archived according to the standard classification scheme. Flipped through it a bit because the cover seemed interesting, but it doesn't seem to hold any actual value. Research Assistant Botin. I agree with your views, but Research Assistant Dupree. Donated book. New way to search the dictionary, an analysis and reflections based on natural philosophy and historical evolution. Category. Language. Dialectology and historical linguistics. Donor. Etli Bergier. Donor's message. This paper has been reviewed. Please archive it according to standard procedure in the language, dialectology and historical linguistics section. By Nuviet Neckerchief. Choiseul funds research like this? Research Assistant Dupree. The above remark is only a personal opinion and does not represent the views or position of this department. Research Assistant Botin. Donated book. Novel Artificed Core Spin Theory and an Engineering Interpretation of Reversed Gear Drives. All 10 volumes. Category. Kinetic Science, Vibration Theory. Donor. Valain Miles. Donor's message. Consider this a token of gratitude for the Fontaine Research Institute of Kinetic Energy Engineering's continuous help and contributions. Please accept these books for your collection. Archived according to the standard classification scheme. Research Assistant Botin. Huh? Wait, someone actually donated normal books? Research Assistant Dupree. That's funny. Is this where researchers spend their downtime? Is this even humane? Has the Fontaine Research Institute ever considered making renovating this place a priority? There was just a massive explosion, so I don't think that's a big deal to them right now. There should be a survey anchor here. Just like Ms. Crony implied, this place needs renovation, and the power supply here is very limited. This place looks fine. What are you on about? Or perhaps I should say there's a complete shortage. While I'm answering Ms. Crony's questions, I'll leave the job of recovering the survey anchor to you, Harley. Compared to some other areas, the dormitories weren't as impacted as much by the explosion. Dormitories? But I don't even see one bed here, so how did the researchers get any rest? It's not like they can sleep in chairs, right? Ms. Crony, your idea of resting is very different from that of the researchers. When a researcher at the Fontaine Research Institute says they need rest, they only want a quick break for their brain. Then they would usually come here, play piano, read, have a drink or two if necessary. But wouldn't sleeping provide more rest to the brain? You may be correct, but to our researchers, sleeping is a waste of time in the first place. Sleeping is a waste of time? No, it is essential for rest. Sleeping completely cuts your train of thoughts short, and that's just not acceptable for our research work. Are you being serious? If you don't sleep, the only thing that will be cut short is your life. Not necessarily. The Institute boasts an excellent healthcare system that guarantees researchers' health and well-being. But that's still no reason to not sleep. Also, if researchers are here to give their brains a break, wouldn't that break their thought process from research anyway? Not necessarily. It only seems like they're taking a break, when actually they're still pondering different academic subjects subconsciously. It's akin to a vast ocean that, while appearing calm on the surface, still has a strong undercurrent beneath. Sometimes the undercurrents below are much stronger than the towering waves above. I get it. You mean when researchers at the Fontaine Research Institute are on a project, they must keep working and are not allowed to rest, right? That is not completely fair to say. If they truly need sleep, they're free to go back home and do just that. I thought the academia was fucked up, I know, right? So it is fairer to say that as long as researchers at the Fontaine Research Institute are inside the institute, they must keep working and are not allowed to rest. Your rhetoric is simply astound, Ms. Crony. Thick experimental report. What do you call me? Experiment day. The lab equipment that was ordered hasn't arrived yet. No choice. All I can do is force myself to go to Hôtel de Bois with Mr. Poitier. Mr. Poitier recommended the seasonal poisson oyster with Salatian caviar and a fine chardon. The poisson oysters were unquestionably the best. Full-bodied texture, plump, soft, and juicy, flavour lingering on the tip of the tongue like a gentle sea breeze. However, the way Mr. Poitier ate them, it could be said to seem a bit inelegant, as the juice accidentally squirted all over the napkin. Such lack of etiquette would definitely be laughed at by others. Anyway, I lectured him about it. Now, if he would only take this to heart. After all, etiquette is like food. Inferior ingredients can certainly be compensated for through superior culinary techniques, so there shouldn't be any need to discriminate in terms of the quality of ingredients. But even so, people will always prefer premium food with premium ingredients. Experiment day. The lab equipment ordered before still hasn't arrived. No choice. All I can do is force myself to watch an opera with Mr. Poitier. The refreshments were as tasty as ever, but the play was only passable at best. As far as tragedies go, the farewell scene between Irenaeus and Egeria, at least, succeeded in squeezing a few tears out of some members of the audience, such as Mr. Poitier, though it was expected given his tastes. Damn. Not laughter. There's nothing innately wrong with attempting to show the plot unfolding from the perspective of multiple characters, but if it cannot all be tied back together and the theme properly expressed, and instead completely relies on sensationalizing the climax to cover up all the flaws, then it is absolutely a misguided approach. Take, for example, the adaptation of the famous Loch Night tale titled Mounted Python and the Pure Grail. Monty Python reference. That's so good. The comedy I previously attended with Mr. Poitier. See Lab Report page 17. It was a superior production in every way. As the great master Acrofriba said, "'Tis better to pen laughter than tragedy, for laughter gives strength and fortifies the will." Not to mention how mortifying Mr. Poitier's bawling was. Experiment day. The lab equipment previously ordered still hasn't arrived. It appears it may have gotten lost in transit. Can't do anything but force myself to reorder the equipment and then go to Café Lucerne with Mr. Poitier once more. Any Python Mountain's so true. That's so fucking funny. So that's the thing, like, I could just not read everything, but even when there's not, like, juicy lore tidbits, there's still, like, really funny, silly things like that most people don't read. So I get joy out of reading them, just in case there's any gems. Researcher's notes. I want to take a nap, but I've got to go to a project meeting later, so I can't sleep. No falling asleep. How I wish our research project leader would stop barging in during lunch to talk about work. You could cut the air with a knife. The free coffee at the Institute is getting worse. It tastes like sawdust soaked in water. I might as well drink Fanta. Alas, I do not know when I can be transferred to another group. I really don't want to continue research on this smart lie detector of Professor Mosso's anymore. Without resources inherited from him, we're like chefs working at a crafting bench. This just isn't working out. I've heard that the Institute has commissioned some adventurers to search for his base. If you ask me, they could just restart the project then, right? It's not like numbers are going to help us catch up with him if we've got to force the research through while having no material to work with. Cipher letter 4. Teilhard scribbled cipher letters all over the place. Why am I not surprised? He even erased the formula for the purifying solvent Butor left behind. Thanks to him, all of our project funding requests have been rejected. Guess it's time to kiss my bright future goodbye. Not only is there no place for traditional clockwork mecha research in the Fontaine Research Institute, there's no place for me as well. I probably should try to secure a job at the Fortress of Meripede. I'm sure they need engineers there. I'm just kidding, there's no way I'm going there. I heard there aren't even windows there. I've decided to do something out of the goodness of my heart. Although Butor is no longer here, I've recreated the formula for the purifying solvent based on the information he left behind. I'll record the formula here, so anyone who sees this is able to use it to create the solvent, and erase the nonsense that Teilhard wrote. The formula is as follows. The text below has been removed. This fucking menace. Looks like election work is proceeding apace. There's no time to lose. Let's go to the next location. Damn, he just fucking the ground with his giant glowy dick. Wow. Oh, look at the buddies. They singing. Aw. Wait, this is so wholesome. Ah, there's Clockwork Mecha here too. They may have been attracted by the energy spill. Please be cautious.
Right now. Right.
There should be a survey anchor here too. I'll open the door and leave the recovery to you, Harley. Okay. I believe this place was originally Butor's Institute of Clockwork Applications. In the field of clockwork machines, Monsieur Butor was one of the leading authorities. However, scientifically, the development and advancement of traditional clockwork machines had reached a bottleneck. In terms of applications, traditional clockwork machines were obviously at a great disadvantage. Anyway, Monsieur Butor's program was slowly being marginalized at the Institute. His funding was cut, and he struggled to recruit researchers. After a series of unfortunate incidents, Monsieur Butor's group finally disbanded, and this facility was completely abandoned. Monsieur Butor was terribly unlucky, if you ask me. Yeah, I still can't forget how Choiseul just kept equivocating. And that Raimondo, so haughty and arrogant. Did you see how he was looking at me? I think you're much better than either of those two. Things would have never turned out like that if you were in their position. Don't suck up to me. Hi. Oh. You don't attack? Alright then.
Solicited, and all the more valuable for it.
Oh, now they do. This is the last survey anchor. Let's return to the Institute. I'm curious, did any of the adventurers who responded to the recruitment come and get this kind of survey anchor? Of course, and there were quite a few. The survey anchor retrieval test is part of the qualification review. After the initial phase, they will try to make contact with the survey anchors under the supervision of Institute researchers. They consumed a lot of our antiemetics? Don't know what the fuck that means. I like how they didn't even comment on the fact that, like, I was being attacked by monsters. Mr. Raimondo, the survey anchors have all been retrieved. Looks like we've really got the right person for the job this time. Put them over there. Someone will come and handle them. Now, let us get down to business. Come over here, please, Harley. There are some documents you'll need to sign. They're so fake! Why are there so many documents? Because no matter how one looks at it, escorting a researcher into the ruins of the Fontaine Research Institute and then landing said ruins shall be no small matter. And since it is such an important matter, it is only natural for us to explain every detail to the one carrying out the work. Who am I escorting? Why, that'd be Mr. Naka, of course. Across the entire institute, there's no one better suited than him to deal with the central laboratory ruins. I request that I accompany Mr. Naka. What? I think this is a terrific proposal. Choiseul, did you forget what we mentioned when we came up with the plan? We must keep the public informed about the rebuilding of the Institute with the utmost transparency. That's right. The new Fontaine Research Institute has nothing to hide. Edwin made some mistakes, but we're past that now. Please go write report on it. Go to the ruins of the Institute and see the mistakes Edwin Eastinghouse made. Looking back again, the Institute now is just what we've been working toward, the cause we stand for. But allow me to emphasize once again that, and here we go again, Paimon's about to fall asleep. I truly admire how much you guys have to say. Not to mention how every sentence seems to magically make people fall asleep. Paimon's already feeling sleepy from just half a sentence. No, it's important business, so please come this way. Under Raimondo's guidance, you sign many complicated documents. Thanks to your prior experience, you finish signing them before you know it this time. Is it Raimondo or Raimondo? I don't know. Alright, that should be all of them. Thank you, Harley. You are now an externally contracted assistant researcher for the Fontaine Research Institute. What about Paimon? Does Paimon get any title? You're my important assistant, Paimon. Assistant? Ugh, that just doesn't sound cool. Don't worry. Assistants play an absolutely critical role within the Institute. But let us get back to business, shall we? They're all about getting back to business. Things right now in the Institute are rather complicated. The matters you'll be dealing with are also urgent, so I won't keep you for much longer. While you're on the way, Mr. Naka will inform you of some things to note, as well as what you will actually need to do. The rest is up to you now. A lot rests on your shoulders, Mr. Naka. Well then, please follow me, Harley. We must get to the ruins. Sure thing. Don't forget me. Yes, and you. How could I possibly forget you? Mired in red tape. Raimondo, during our last meeting, did I really mention that we must keep the public informed about the rebuilding of the Institute with the utmost transparency? I really don't remember that. Perhaps I should check for it in the meeting notes. Could you tell me what page it was exactly? If by checking for it in the meeting notes you mean you wish to see this point made in clear writing, then I must say that it won't happen, as such a point cannot be summarized into a single sentence. This point was made based on the overall essence of that meeting, which was to first address morality in human relations and the sum total of social norms. Lastly, this concept, when extracted from countless specific words and actions, is so broad and generic that anyone can see and comprehend its abstract concept. So what you're saying is, I didn't say that? Correct. Come on, Harley, Miss Crony, this way. So, you mean we're going to delve into this patch of water? That's right. With the help of this allo-gravity condensed water, we can ascend the ruins of the Institute safely and efficiently. If you don't wish to do it that way, you may also go to the opposite bank and glide in from the highest mountain using a wing glider. Forget it. I'm not that good at using a wing glider, and I'm not really used to heights either. Very well, now I'll go over a few things to keep in mind when it comes to allo-gravity condensed water. Naka details considerations when making use of said allo-gravity condensed water. So in a nutshell, it's the same as when swimming or diving. I feel like this is more flying or diving. I suppose you could call it anti-gravity diving if you had to. Is everybody ready? Miss Crony, you can still back out now if you'd like, and simply wait here for us to return. Reporters never back down. I'll be right behind you guys. I'll try to, anyway. Alright then, if you insist. Let's get going now. Care for your elders. In multiple ways. Whee! We're in! We're in a cube. Why do I really want to fall out the bottom and see what happens? I know what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna fall. I don't know why I'm tempted to do it. What's this large plate? That's the experimental field generator that Mr. Edwin developed. Huh? Didn't it already blow up? It looks perfectly fine now. The thing that exploded wasn't this machine, but the Archeum ore that powers its core driver, the Archeum kinetic core. This thing, will it suddenly start moving by itself? Relax, this big guy can't move now that it's lost its power supply. But didn't Raimondo say that we needed to use it to make the ruins descend? If it can't move, only a part of it will be activated. The Tri-State Archeum can only support its operation at half speed, but that should be enough to relieve the abnormal gravity state the central laboratory ruins are in. Paimon doesn't understand that at all. What do you need us to do? Please follow me. The place where we will need to work is in the back. Miss Crony, please stay here. Some areas in the back contain Institute secrets, and you're not allowed to have any exposure to them. She's just gonna want to know now. I can see that back of yours from here. What secrets could be hidden inside? I have no idea either. That's why you're definitely not allowed inside. What nonsense. Yet why would you tell her this? Just say it's like dangerous or some shit. Anyway, please wait here. If you take photos randomly, you might capture something related to Institute secrets. For example, the formula for the sugar-free berry-flavoured Fanta. This new Fanta product is quite important to the Institute. Bro. If you leak any information of it to the outside world, you'll need to undergo a 1-month confidential investigation and must report to the Maison Gestion at the Palais Memonia 3 times every day and be questioned. Of course, you'll need to stop your journalistic work. Don't worry, even if I get taken away by the Palais Memonia for questioning, it will only be because I've uncovered the secret you're hiding. Oh, she's so annoying. I won't let myself be forced to stop working for a reason as absurd as leaking some Fanta formula. I admire your work ethic. I hope everything goes well with your photo taking. Was he like reverse psychologying her? Harley, let's go. There's still work for us to do. Huh? What was Neko doing? Defeat all of the malfunctioning mecha. Maybe he was just like, yeah, I feel like he was probably just distracting her. Sometimes I really don't get why the Institute had to design the support clockwork mecha to look like humans. Just from the perspective of supporting research, hands and feet are far worse than tracking and multifunctional clockwork mecha apertures. What's this rock? Ugh. Oh, this is the archeum that supplies energy to the experimental field generator. What restrains it is the energy supply device created by Mr. Edwin. See this here? This circuit connects to the generator. Of all the inert archeum we found, this one was the best in terms of purity and stability. And then boom it went. What are we, Yoda? That came down to Mr. Edwin. I trust that this wasn't the cause, or at least it shouldn't take all the blame. Whoa, it's not going to blow up again, is it? When that happens, I'm going to need you to take us to the skies, Paimon. Paimon doesn't have super strength, but if it really does blow up, then Paimon could give it a shot. Don't worry, now that Mr. Edwin's not around, we're completely safe. What does that mean? He's the danger? Alright, I'm about to use Raimondo's catalyst to transform this archeum into tri-state archeum and activate that big fellow inside. Then these ruins should be able to safely land on the ground. Harley, could you please help me take some photos in the area? I need to use them as evidence for my work record. Didn't you just say taking photos wasn't allowed? That's fine. These will be used for reference in the Institute and won't be distributed. Unless you secretly keep a few for yourself, which I trust you won't do. Oh, right, and when you're taking photos, please look for Ms. Crony while doing so. I've got no idea where she's run off to, or where she's hiding. We literally left her back there. I really don't want to start the generator, only to suddenly find a lady tossed into midair. You're not allowed to take photos, but please go take photos. Yeah, I think that was just a rule for her. Do we have to stop her from being, like, thrown in midair? Is that harsh? Maybe we could throw her. Readings are normal, looks like everything's fine, and we shouldn't come across any hiccups. Harley, once you're done taking photos, please go find Miss Crony. I'll come to find you guys when I finish making adjustments here. Sometimes there are confidential things that don't have to be exposed. Like, sometimes it's dangerous if that information is exposed. Sometimes it's just not stuff that the public needs to know. Like, it's not some big conspiracy. Like, you don't have to expose every single thing on the planet. You know what I mean? How suspicious? What's suspicious? Show me too. Oh, Harley, you gave me a fright. How are you able to walk around without making any noise? You were just too focused. Speaking of it, you followed us all the way here. Have you managed to find anything? Probably better if the public doesn't know about some mega dangerous machinery. Literally. Like, as long as people have it under control, it's not anyone else's business. Not really. Since Mr. Naka said all that, I don't really want to get in trouble. Also, it did put her off. In the end, all I could take pictures of were these dilapidated houses, broken rocks, and a motionless machine. I bet I would be able to take photos of a big scoop if I could fly in the air just like you can, Paimon. Why be a reporter if you- He's literally standing right there. Why be a reporter if you can fly? I was born to do this. It's the reason I exist. That's kind of sad, bestie. I too am very sure of that, Miss Crony. What? You're also able to walk without making any noise? Is this a new technology the Institute's developed? Unfortunately, we don't teach walking courses. I've already completed all the preparations in any case. Harley, please take Miss Crony back to the Institute. Once the experimental field generator is activated, it will rapidly change the gravity in the surrounding area. I've been through professional training, and I know what to do in this situation. For your safety, it would be best if you stay away from here. Maybe she just can't hear shit. Yeah, maybe she's actually deaf. And how are you going to get down? You don't need to worry about me. Mr. Edwin taught me how to use the generator personally. No one in the Institute can control this big guy as freely as I can. Not even Raimondo. Guess we'll have to leave it to a professional then. Be careful. Go now. We'll meet again on the surface.
Into the wind.
Oh! This isn't actually meant to be like giving you like weird gravity. It's just because it doesn't have like collision. So the game gets confused and just kind of like hovers you here. Look. Harley, you're back. How's the work coming along? Everything's going swimmingly. Get it? Swimming. There are still some finishing touches that ought to be left to a professional, so Mr. Naka is still up there. I feel like I haven't really contributed that much. Don't say that. You're our safety rope. Without you, dear Harley, how could we have dared let Mr. Naka go up there by himself? It could be said that the trip was a brilliant success. There were other benefits as well. Miss Cronies managed to photograph some thought-provoking images that she would like to ask me about, and a few of those pictures should prove even more interesting for Mr. Naka. Let's not talk about that for now. Come, let us take a photo together. Monsieur Choiseul would also need to present you with a certificate and an honorary title. Honorary title? Provoking images, AO. Ooh, and what about Paimon? Paimon will also get a promotion from assistant, right? Seeing as you're Harley's companion, then I guess you could join in on the photo. As for the title, so there's no honorary title for Paimon then? Honorary titles must remain limited in quantity, and stay relatively rare. Otherwise, how would we get sponsors and support through awarding them? Oh, alright then. Then allow me to award Paimon the honorary title of Best Companion, the honorary title of Best Travel Guide, a super awesome title, the honorary title of Best Companion. Hey, just what kind of nonsense titles are those? We're already best buddies. Paimon doesn't need a title for that. I'm just trying to be nice. Fuck. You better make Harley's really awesome. Of course, this honorary title is of the highest standing. Besides, haven't you also been promoted to assistant to the honorary senior researcher? Come on, let's get that photo taken. Honor of being emergency food, true. An assistant's still an assistant, no matter how many words you put after it. Alright, let's take the photo. This is an occasion to remember. Monsieur Choiseul, you're... Ooh, looks like he's having a nice conversation with Miss Crony. Hence, this operation is a stepping stone to rebuilding the Institute. We can do it, and it is our duty to do so, as it has always been. As for the former site of the Institute, we will keep it preserved forever and rebuild it as the Fontaine Research Institute Safety Education Center. I think I've just about had enough. I'm certain that everybody has benefited from your speech, Monsieur Choiseul, but now's the time to take a photo together with Harley, wouldn't you say? Yes, of course. We must take a photo and mark this occasion with our dear honorary senior researcher of the Fontaine Research Institute. Please give us a second, Miss Crony. This shouldn't take too long. Oh, don't worry. It's not like the things you said just now weren't all cliches anyway. Weren't you guys going to take a photo together? Yeah, we just said that. Fuck off, Crony. I just so happen to have a camera with me. So do I. Please go and stand in position. I travelled a long way to get here, so please at least make it worth the trip, okay? The rest of the stuff wasn't worth it? Okay. Oh, cute cutscene. The way she captured that, holy shit. Is Naka dead? I feel like he's probably dead, right? Was that an explosion just now? What else could it have been? I don't believe that was an explosion. All things considered, it was probably a controllable... That was an explosion! Paimon was nearly blown away just now. If not, what else could it have been? Mr. Choiseul, could you please explain this to us? Was this something that you had anticipated? I must say, you asked a very good question. A very excellent one. As many people are wondering the same thing. The colour of these bodies of water. Could it be that the condenser components are already in... Wait, Naka hasn't come down yet. You're right, he hasn't returned yet. Let's not delay, Harley. We need to go now. Wait, I want to go too! Are you fucking stupid, lady? There was a nuclear explosion. A small one, but a nuclear explosion. Why? Why do you want to go up there? Do you want to die? Is that it? The truth behind this explosion. Please do not act rashly, Miss Reporter. Didn't even call her by her name. If you dip one of your toes into that water, you'll be saying goodbye to this world within a minute. Just let it go, maybe she dies, true. Also, yeah, like, it's not just an explosion. It's literally, like, nuclear radiation. Don't scare me. This shit is scary. What do you want? Would you please just stay here? He's so done with her. Harley, according to your previous experience, the energy flow that remains in these bodies of water shouldn't affect you too much. Please get to the ruins as quickly as you can. I'll find my own way up, and I'll meet you there. Your own way? I have my ways. After the explosion, I was among one of the first up there to conduct disaster investigation and evaluation. Things at that time were much more complicated than they are now. Anyway, enough talk. Let's get moving. Hopefully Mr. Naka won't meet the same fate that Edwin did. At least there was no one else there that would have died, because a lot of people died in the first explosion. How can I get up there? Also, will that medicine work? But he said that as long as I touch it. And those pictures. Darn it, I need to think of a way. You are insane.
Time to go.
My goodness, was this also predicted? Oh my. Oh, everyone's standing up now. Wait, I want to go see what everyone else says about this. They're all just like, they were all just, oh wait, no, you can't talk to any of them. Because they were all just sitting down, like, having, like, tea and shit. And now they're like, welp. Wait, he has a name now? He didn't have a name before. Monsieur Hutto. Damn, everyone's just like, what the fuck? Oh, wait, it went purple. That's cool. All the mobs that were up there survived. Yeah. Oh, wait, they're purple on the map now. Oh, I like that. That's interesting. Oh, it's windy up here. I don't think I've seen wind like this.
Time to go.
But this one, oh wait, when you get close, it's like interesting. So there's like everything is like purple, I guess, because of the radiation in the air. Reminds me of Inazuma, yeah. And then like, yeah, I have not seen wind like this in the game yet. Even in Mondstadt, it wasn't this severe. That's like their whole thing. And all the trees have been like blown sideways. That's so cool. Wow. What? Oh. Huh? Why are there so many mecha here? We dismantled so many of them last time, didn't we? Seems the explosion just now caused that Archeum to release another wave of energy, which awakened another batch of mechas. Please do dismantle them, Harley. Okay.
This is order.
But I love paying attention to like the details and this stuff. Examine the large out of control Archeum. Do I have to? Yeah, it like pulled everything this way. It looks like the Archeum overloaded and that the cooling mechanism is also damaged. Naka, what have you done here exactly? This was my fault. I didn't think that Naka would still be unsatisfied despite all the benefits I gave him. Oh, did he try and do something he wasn't supposed to? Like he wanted to finish Edwin's experiment and try it again instead of doing what he actually said he was going to do? I wonder. Benefits? Wait a second. Why are you looking at me like that? Did he say anything to you? You tell Raimondo of your encounters with Naka and his attitudes towards various matters. What attitudes? Sweet talk. Did he tell you guys then that it was people like him, Edwin's successors, who are reaping the benefits of this mess by stealing all kinds of information and selling it for a fortune? You guys are telling completely different stories. Paimon doesn't know who to believe anymore. If only he were here, then we could find out the truth. Paimon doesn't see him at all, though. I think this motherfucker's dead. If he's not here, where could he have gone? Maybe he's already... I don't think he was killed at the very least. There was a massive explosion and he was right here. Like... I'll explain why later. For now, though, we must stabilize this Archeum as quickly as we can. The suppression system shut down, and this ore is presently in an excited state. Any ores in an excited state in chat? It should have been Crony, please. This is what caused the explosion. What caused the explosion? But this big rock doesn't look blown up at all. I don't understand. I'm also in an excited state, Ayo. Is that because you're looking at Naviette? Alright, I agree that this is indeed quite difficult to understand. I'll explain it in simpler terms for you. I guess I have no choice now. The experimental field generator that Edwin created is extremely powerful and can manipulate gravity. This I believe you know already. Yeah, there's one on the ground. After the explosion, all the Archeum in the Institute shattered into fragments. Among these fragments, many of them could have turned into an excited state and triggered an explosion at any time. With the use of gravity fields, they were all restrained and gathered, beneath our feet. That explosion just before was a small one caused by a small part of Archeum in the ruins that was affected by energy flow. I guess you could call it a minor rehearsal of a third great explosion. A third? Then this ruin is a super huge, ready to explode piece of Archeum? So you guys did all this? Not because you wanted to retrieve assets, but because you were scared this place would explode again? That's just one of the objectives of this operation. But right now, our priority is to retrieve the condensing components that fell into the water and restart the suppression device. There is also Archeum inside those components, and the intense energy flow has likely caused unpredictable changes to the water bodies. Forgive me, but I'm really not capable of retrieving them and installing them back on the inhibitor. Only you are capable of doing this, Harley. Please, for the court of Fontaine, and since it's urgent, I'll just get the job done first. But once this is all over, you better explain everything clearly. If all goes well, I will tell you everything I know. Drat, the energy flow is too strong here. I need to take more medicine. About the real reason for the explosion at the Fontaine Research Institute. You are quite inquisitive, but now's not the time for a long conversation. Please go and retrieve the condensing components first. Huh? Why can't we get into this water body? Oh, we can't? Oh, looks like there's no other choice. Let's look around. Maybe we can find another way. It's me trying to be smart about it. I'm so intelligent. You were the same. Okay, that makes me feel better. What the fuck is going on here? Damn, it really blew them so far away from each other. Holy shit. Damn, son. Oh, enter. Oh. Look. Transformed allogravity condensed water body, a dangerous liquid that has been modified somehow by the energy flowing from the condensation components. If you remain within such a liquid for too long, you will accumulate turbulent energy flow. If you hit the accumulation limit, all your characters will drown? Bro. Fuck. Where am I going? I kind of want to know what happens. Oh. Oh, we're fine. Oh, thank God. I see. I really just chucked everything, like, all over the place. Wait, where are we going? Oh, okay. Alright, sounds good. Oh shit. Uh-oh. I appreciate you. Oh, thank God. Where? Bro. Oh my God. Oh no. Wait, what? Oh God, I'm stuck. Oh, I just... Wait, what? Huh? I'm so confused. Why am I trapped? Oh, here we go. Okay, cool. That's it? Okay, cool. Thank fuck. Relief. What? Huh? Oh. Bro, what?
Into the wind.
Not everyone has Kazuha, so I'm not sure what the intended solution was there. Or maybe you have to... You know, maybe this was a bad idea. Let me go back. Oh, is it gonna let me... Oh, fuck me. Please, 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 please. No! Motherfucker. Errors were made.
One with nature.
Oh my Jesus. Ugh,
Into the wind.
God bless Kazuha. Maybe I should have a bow user. Wait. Can I just... Oh my fucking God, are you fucking for real? Wait. Oh, I think I'm done with that one? Now I have to go to the other side? Dude.
The wind knows me.
Kazuha, what the fuck, bro? Oh. Dude, what is happening? I have royally fucked this up.
Follow the wind.
Bro! Okay, this is easier. I don't know what the fuck I was doing with the other one. Oh, okay.
Right now. Emerge. Right now.
Oh! Jesus, that scared me. Wait, what is... Oh. Okay. No good.
Stabilize.
Emerge right now. Nothing lasts forever. Right here.
My lord. Oh, okay.
Gather.
I'm amazed. He was still hitting them from up there. Ah! Did I hit it? Oh, I must have done. Where's... Oh, I see. Bro. Okay, there we go. My lord. Where is it? What? Let me pick it up. Hello? Thank you. Oh, bam. Oh god, I was a bit close to the edge there. Okay, one's done. Hey, we did it. I just got really confused.
Take it easy.
Oh, what the fuck? This is interesting. And then we go into this one. Where are we going? Oh. Whoop. Okay. Oh god. That Mr. Naka really knows how to create trouble for others. Just like that boss of his, Edwin Eastinghouse. What are you doing here? We really can't catch a break here. Not only did the explosion break off the condensing components of the device, but it also destroyed the self-sustaining system of the inhibitor. I'm about to remove the 2 backup pneumosia cores in the experimental field generator and use them to supply energy to the inhibitor. Luckily, this big fella can't move. Otherwise, we wouldn't even have time to run. It's just not moving right now, you mean? Hey, knock on wood. Don't say things like that. What if it actually starts moving? Don't worry, its main source of energy is that big chunk of Archeum behind it. Although the Archeum has transformed into an activated state, the explosion damaged all of the energy supply lines, so it's lost all of its energy supply. Huh? The Archeum kinetic core should have been right here. Where did... hold on. You said that the pneumosia cores were a backup energy source. And isn't the activation condition for backup energy sources the complete loss of energy? Oh. Uh-oh. Why is Paimon smarter than this scientist man? Here we go. Whoa, this big guy's moving. Paimon knew it would from the start. Edwin, you scoundrel. What did you do to this thing? Harley, only you can turn it off now. Great. Not to worry, there are 2 pneumosia cores powering it right now, so it's only functioning 1/3 of its full power. That's easy for you to say. Paimon can barely fly like this.
Quiet now. Busted. I'm always watching. Emerge right now.
There we go. Don't even need to do it stupid zero gravity mode. It stopped. I knew you could do it. Quick, grab these 2 cores. Let's go hook up the power. Just like before, you go connect to the energy source and I'll adjust the device. It's always me in danger, isn't it? Ooh. Oh. Everything's fine now. Finally, it's stabilized. The Archeum has transformed into an inert state. We in the Fontaine Research Institute are safe, for now. But it seems there are ever more secrets. As for the things you'd like to know, I will be happy to answer, but not right now. What I can tell you now, based on my hypothesis, is that Mr. Naka stole the Archeum kinetic core and triggered this small explosion. Wow. But before explaining in too much detail, we should return to the Institute and place the proper notation and partitions into this interlude. Or at the very least, we need to stop Miss Journalist from getting more deeply involved. The Archeum kinetic core is connected to too many other matters, and we must handle it in complete confidentiality. So I would like you to cooperate with my work. Cooperate with your work? You're not saying to play along with your lies, are you? The scarier something is, the more you should share it with others. Not in this case, Paimon. Then we can all work together to deal with it faster. I have my doubts about that, you two. Every matter has its own way of being dealt with, and in this instance, we must first call for silence. But I promised that I would never have you steer from your moral standards, or demand that you have the same standard of behaviour as we do. Damn, he really just said, yeah, we kinda suck. All I ask is for you to remain quiet. You need not do anything else. You might be wondering why I would have you remain silent while telling you the truth. I'll just come out and say it now. Your coming here is the only good fortune that our institute has had in nearly 100 years. No matter what happens or what the cost is, we must maintain good relations with you. I'm sure Mr. Choiseul feels the same way. Is transparency something you consider a cost as well? Yeah, you're only just telling us the truth now, which you should have done ages ago. Just what sort of cost is that? Dear lady, Paimon, telling the truth honestly is, in truth, the greatest price one can pay. Let's go back. I ask sincerely for your understanding and to provide all necessary cooperation. Alright. I certainly don't want to give anything to fucking Crony. Miss Crony, everything we do is in the best interests of the people of the court of Fontaine. So what you're saying is that the Fontaine Research Institute predicted the explosion just now? Are you kidding? Do you think I'm a gestionnaire? You can't hoodwink me that easily. I think Monsieur Choiseul has expressed himself clearly enough. The situation is still under control. The status quo of the court of Fontaine will not be adversely affected. Now, allow me to make a statement explaining the events that really occurred. That's enough, mister. I don't believe you for a second. Harley, you should have seen everything, right? I'm begging you, tell me the truth. Let's cooperate with Raimondo for now. No need to bother Harley anymore, Miss Crony. Allow me to explain the truth. Don't even think of trying to get away with it, Mr. Raimondo. I saw the Archeum with my own eyes. This explosion must have been caused by it. Did you not repeatedly emphasize before that all the Archeum had been properly processed and disposed of? Just what are you hiding? I haven't hidden anything. This explosion was always a controllable hazard removal directional blast. Controllable hazard? Wait, hazard removal? What? Mind you all don't bite your tongues on that. It basically means to use small controlled blasts to quickly remove Archeum fragments, with the goal of activating the experimental field generator as quickly as possible. But couldn't have imagined that Mr. Naka would steal the Archeum kinetic core needed to start the experimental field generator. Oh, so he's telling her about that? Not only that, but he intentionally activated that large chunk of Archeum, using it to draw our attention while he made his escape. Is this not the truth? So is that the ploy you came up with just now? To dump all the blame onto a researcher who could be dead right now for all you know? Wait, is he telling her the truth, knowing that she won't believe it? I think what you really want to hide is that you are completely incapable of dealing with the Archeum. The Archeum is still a major threat to the court of Fontaine. Ridiculous. A person's life isn't something you can throw away to help spread your own lies. I've already told you the truth, Miss Crony. Please listen to a final word of advice. It takes only the slightest bit of effort to fixate on something, but it always takes more brainpower to avert your gaze from it. Enough. I won't listen to another word you say, nor will I dwell on this. Your words, deeds, and all the facts concealed by the Institute will be reported on in the next issue of the Steambird. Good day, gentlemen. Miss Crony strides away from the Fontaine Research Institute. Thank goodness that's finally over with. Oh, and thank you too, Harley. I just did what I should. Ah, such humility. In this day and age, those who do what they should are already outstanding. You didn't make assumptions about whether something is good or bad based on your subjective thoughts. Instead, you think carefully about what you do and say for the sake of the greater good. Truly an excellent person. But is this really okay? Paimon still thinks that we should tell everyone the truth. There's no need to bear such a heavy burden, dear Harley. You only cooperated after listening to my repeated entreaties. I am a senior technician of the Fontaine Research Institute, and the responsibility for this matter falls squarely on me, and me alone. But Miss Crony said, she has already obtained the truth she wants for herself. I wish her well. But as for us, we still have much to be concerned about. For example, the whereabouts of Mr. Naka and the Archeum Kinetic Core. But shouldn't we first give you a few awards as well, Monsieur Choiseul? Right. Let's take another group photo together. The one we took before had an unseemly explosion in the background. This new photo must be decent enough to be worthy of your status as our honorary senior researcher. Choiseul and Raimondo stand in the same position as before, and an institute researcher takes a photo for everyone. Perfect. Look at us, a decent bunch of decent people. The ostentatious award ceremony has finally ended. Paimon hopes we won't ever have to attend such a pompous ceremony ever again. This certificate and trophy are for you. I'll post a copy on the Institute bulletin board later. I hope our researchers will follow your example. On this path, we must strive to take the lead, overcome all obstacles, and put in 120% of our... I actually have more questions for you. Of course, I know what you want to ask. Even though your questions are all, extremely complicated, I'm willing to answer them. In any case, I believe we'll have more opportunities to work together in the future, honorary senior researcher. Wait. You're not going to answer my questions? You promised you would answer my questions. Is this something I can help you with? Oh. Okay. Why do you think that Naka is still alive? Considering the interests of the Institute and my personal point of view, I do in fact hope that both he and that Archeum Kinetic Core were obliterated in that explosion. Wow. That would mean that the last traces of Edwin Eastinghouse's influence here would be gone for good. Jeez, was he that bad? But like I said earlier, that explosion was actually a small-scale Archeum fragment resonance. Moreover, most of the Archeum fragments in the explosion radius were ore waste that have been fully depleted of energy. Logically speaking, even if a large Archeum chunk had gone out of control, causing the ore waste to resonate, such a violent explosion should not have occurred. The only possibility is that someone specially collected Archeum that has not been depleted from other areas, and piled them here. They then overloaded that large Archeum chunk on purpose to create an Archeum resonance, so as to trigger an explosion to cover up certain traces that would have existed otherwise. Naka has always conducted research with Edwin, and has a good understanding of the nature of Archeum. It wouldn't take him much effort to do something like this. Still, that's just my preliminary conjecture. As for what happens next, we'll need to wait for the Research Institute to conduct a more detailed investigation. But why did he steal this core? This Archeum Kinetic Core is the most cutting-edge technology created by the Fontaine Research Institute to date. It wouldn't be a bad idea to sell it or use it in the development of another project. But considering his level of academic expertise, I would rather he sell this Archeum Kinetic Core for a good price. Ah, if it isn't our honorary senior researcher. Welcome. Can I help you with anything? Or have you come to help me with something instead? About the Institute's current state. Everything is good. It's better than ever. Now that egomaniac Edwin is gone, the gang of thieves under him no longer exists either. Jesus. More importantly, the Institute has a chance to be reborn. We can take off the shackles and burdens of the past to focus wholeheartedly on building our foundations once again. That is, to work hard for the well-being of all the people of the court of Fontaine. Why do I not trust that? I'm currently gathering some people and preparing a code of conduct for our organisation. It will include principles on the use of funds, research asset management methods, and ethical standards that should be observed in scientific research and work. All research-related behaviour at our institute will have relevant rules and provisions. What a wonderful future. It's simply the best. Simply the best. Do you and Raimondo run things together? No, to be precise, we deal with affairs related to different areas. Raimondo is responsible for getting scientific work and research back on track, and I'm responsible for everything apart from that. For example, I'm responsible for arranging funds related to manpower, quarterly budget allocations, reaccommodating visitors, and getting rid of those journalists together with Raimondo. But our main goal remains the same: to rebuild the Fontaine Research Institute and work hard for the well-being of all the people of the court of Fontaine. That's of Raimondo. About the Archeum kinetic core. Before we discuss this further, I believe Naka or Miss Crony must have mentioned something to you already. They must have told you that my research projects and those of Edwin Eastinghouse had some overlap. But this is not entirely accurate. In fact, this Archeum kinetic core is the fruit of my joint research with him. In theory, if we constantly inject this kinetic core with enough energy, it can easily allow the experimental field generator to run at full power. After creating this core, we both realized the problem. We could barely find any way to keep injecting it with enough energy to keep it at maximum power. Edwin and I tried powering it with a mixture of pneumosia and Archeum energy, or by connecting large numbers of Archeum ores in series to create a superpowered group, but neither worked. That was the situation until we found that giant Archeum. Although it was always in an inert state, Edwin and I were certain that this ore had unprecedented purity. We believed that with the right treatment, this ore could definitely output the large amount of energy we needed. But then Edwin and I had a disagreement. I offered up a more conservative proposal, but he wanted to solve the problem rather more quickly. You should know everything else that happened after that. Yeah. About Edwin. He was a genius in the field of scientific research. It's no exaggeration to say that his talent was only second to our first director, Alain Guillotine. At the same time, he was an inhuman monster. Nothing mattered to him other than his scientific research. That reminds me of Dottore. Edwin was willing to do anything or pay any price to advance his research. He once told me that research results were the only remuneration he needed. He said, "I don't need any remuneration. To me, research itself is the best reward." However, even though Edwin was a pure researcher, the people under him were all experts, in furthering their own interests, that is. Some secretly sold research assets, some plagiarized research results, and some used his name to scam others. They ruined the Fontaine Research Institute's reputation, little by little. Like I said before, as long as his research could advance, Edwin wouldn't do anything about this. In this way, they used Edwin's name to take all the Institute's resources for themselves. The Institute could only continue to conduct detailed reviews on the personnel and funding of Edwin's project team. Mr. Choiseul led many of these review operations personally. However, in the mouths of such people, these actions were construed as bureaucratic arrogance and distrust of researchers. More and more conflicts took place between us, and no one knew how to resolve them. But now, those conflicts no longer exist. Why do I kind of feel like someone sabotaged Edwin's work so that he died? I don't know. About the current situation. Your question is not a technical one, but rather an administrative one. I think you should ask Mr. Choiseul about this instead. Oh, alright. Why do you think Naka stole the core? Do you still remember me flipping through the pictures Miss Crony took in the ruins? There's one of Naka working in front of the suppression device. It's quite blurry, but I'm quite certain that his actions are definitely not part of any operational procedure. That doesn't really mean anything, though. Maybe a thief came flying across from the nearby mountain and stole the core. Paimon. That's most definitely impossible. The energy flow of the Archeum here is the best anti-theft measure there is. No ordinary person can withstand it. Besides, the timing of the experimental field generation's activation is simply too perfect. It cannot be a mere coincidence. I have a preliminary conjecture. Naka, or should I say, the one who stole the core, likely removed the Archeum kinetic core early on, activating the backup energy source. However, pneumosia cores are relatively inefficient energy sources, and they have to keep up a continuous output of energy to reach the activation threshold of this contraption here. Hence, this person intentionally activated that large Archeum chunk, creating a modest but rather noticeable explosion. This way, when the Institute sent someone to investigate, they would be certain to fix the Archeum inhibitor first. And by the time they realised that they'd have to go to the experimental field generator to retrieve the backup energy supply, the generator would have already finished charging. From a technical perspective, such a modus operandi is highly probable, and those within the Institute capable of doing this would only be Edwin, Mr. Naka, and myself. I doubt Edwin had the opportunity to do anything to that effect, which leaves two remaining suspects, myself and Mr. Naka. Maybe this is all you're doing then. Yeah, you said that Naka lied, but you've also been lying all along. Maybe this is all just part of your plan, and you tricked us into escorting you here so you can grab whatever it was you wanted. Your accusation is not entirely baseless. After this, I will also apply for and submit myself to the Institute's credibility review. As far as I'm concerned though, Mr. Naka is the one more likely to have committed this act. If this really was his doing, then he should be the one with the most to gain from it. Even if I am listed alongside him as a suspect, his chances of being convicted are certainly greater than mine.